Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vitvaram Antaryascha Bahirvidodhatimiram Jyotirmayam Shashvatam Sthanam Prapya Virajate Vinamatam Ajnanamunmulayan Pashyan Vishwamapidamullasati yo Vishwasya Pare Paraha Tasmai Sri Ramanaya Loka Gurave Shokasya Hantre Namaha. Satpratyaya Kim Vihaya Santam Hirdesha Chinta Rakito Hritakyah Kadam Smaramastamameyamekam Tasya Smritihi Tasya Dridaiva Nishta. We are in the 10th verse, verse number 10. Bhavantu sardarshana sadhanani parasya nama kritibhi saparyaha sadvastvani prapya tadatma bhava nishtaiva saddarshanamidyavehi. Bhavantu saddarshana sadhanani parasya nama kritibhi saparyaha sadvastvani prapya tadatma bhava nishtaiva saddarshanamidyavehi. What is saddarshanam? In the previous verse, it has been explained that along with the dhivritti, ahamvritti, entire world wakes up. In the astamanam of the dhivritti, entire world also astameti. Diya saha uteti, diya astameti. Lokaha. So, this world which we experience is the pravibhasya eshaha. Then, the loka, both the, that aham the, and then loka, the world of experience, of their janma and kshaya, their origin and kshaya, their dissolution. What is the dhama, the abode in which they rise or into which they dissolve? That is Purnam Sadvastu, which is devoid of Janma and Kshaya. Janma Kshaya Shunyam Ekam. Now, he has taken the next topic as such to say, is Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's constant emphasis has been that we have to do Atma Vichar. Atma Vichar in the form of not what is Atman, but what is that which is not allowing us to see or experience the Atman. What is the impediment? What is the obstacle? What is that which is hiding? The hiding element is the Dhi Vritti, Aham Vritti. And Aham Vritti is the Mula Karanam of all the Vrittis. So, in other words, Vrittayaha or the thoughts alone are those which are shrouding, covering, camouflaging the presence of the self. And we are so busy. Yesterday I was in a class, I was attending or visiting the grade 5 class in Balvihar. One child asked this question, very interesting. Swamiji, why is it that there is no persistent happiness in this world? A 5th grader. So I said, is it that you are asking or your parents is asking this? No, I am asking. Okay, what is now? So I just wanted to find out what she really means. So what do you mean by persistence? She said continuous. Oh, very good that you are asking only that. So I said to her, Dekho, the earth is constantly spinning. Which is not you or I are decided that. It's continuously spinning. And because of the spinning of the earth, there is day and night, summer and winter. The summer and winter, day and night are because of the spinning of the earth. Whereas, you cannot say sun is absent. Sun is always there. But when we are spinning, therefore, according to the movement of the earth, so will be the experience of day and night. In the same way, Anandahi Atma. Happiness is always there. But the problem is we are not available. Our mind is somewhere else. It is doing something else. It is getting caught into something else, busy with that. And therefore, even though the happiness which is always present in us, we are not able to make ourselves available for it. So when the thoughts cease to be, happiness will prevail persistently, continuously, without any break. That is the reason why Ramana Maharshi has been telling us that question the reality of the mind. Question the reality of the mind. So what is the role of upasana, worship? What is the role of upasana here? So that is why in this verse it is said, Bhavantu saddarshana sadhanani saddarshana sadhanani bhavantu. What? Saparyaha. Puja, prayers, japa, ityadi. All these sadhanani, saparyaha sadhanani, parasya nama kritibihi. By worship of that very self in the form of a particular chosen deity, let these kind of prayer, etc., may it become means to gain the saddarshanam. They are not direct. They are not direct means. Because direct means is only jnanam. Bhagavan Shankaracharya also said that Pakasya vaknivat jnanam vina mokshaha na siddhyati. Pakasya vaknivajnanam vina moksho na siddhyati. Without the fire, there cannot be cooking. Without the jnanam, there cannot be mukti. Now, then what is the role of all the upasanas? Puja, japa, rituals, fasting, feasting, all that. Manashuddhikarani. They are all purifying the mind. So, nama akriti means nama akriti. Nama means name, akriti means form. Nama bihi anantaihi Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma, Indradi nama bihi akriti bihi Hiranmayadi murti bihi Prithivi up Tejaha, Vayu, Akasha, Surya, Chandra, Yajamana, Akyabhihi, Ishtabhimurtibihi, Va, Parasya, Ishasya, Saparyaha, Kriyamanaha, Pujaha, Saddarshana Sadhanani, Sadaha, Purushasya, Sarveshwarasya, Darshane Sakshatkare Sadhanani Sahakarini Bhavantu Santonam. Sahakarini Bhavantu. They are supporting sadhanas. See, it is like when you are driving to some place, what is most important is the vehicle. Everything else is sahakari only. The vehicle is important. If the vehicle is not there and everything else is there, then where do you reach? You have a GPS, you have the phone, everything is there, but there is no vehicle to go there. Then how will you reach? In the same way, what is that which will take you there? All other things are necessary, no doubt, but they are not the absolute factor, absolute necessity. They will help. So in the self-enquiry, to undertake the self-enquiry, mind has to be quiet, mind has to be calm, mind has to be undisturbed. If our concern is about, body ache, and then political system or economic situation, and many other such concerns and worries, मन कहाँ मिलेगा आपको? Enquiry करने के लिए, विचार करने के लिए मन नहीं मिलेगा. Mind is not available. Because it is interested in something else. And then if at all, if it is short time, it is available. And that time also, mind, if it is tired, then it is not going to help you. So, puja, japa, mantra japa, etc., what it will do is, it will prepare the mind. It will definitely prepare the mind. Now, parasya of this Lord, of the Supreme, nama akritibihi. There are 4 types of, in our Hindu tradition, 4 types of deities are worshipped. One is called Ishwara Srishti. Ishwara Srishti is sun, moon, fire, air, water, earth. These are all Ishwara Srishti. Planets, stars, trees, mountains. So in our tradition, even mountains are worshipped as God. Sun is worshipped as God. Fire is worshipped as God. Why? They are Ishwara Srishti, Bhagavan's Srishti. It's not we created. So they are also considered as murtis, forms to be worshipped. This is first category. They are called Swayambhuhu also. Second category is Nirguna Murtayaha. Nirguna Murtaya means forms without limbs. Shivalinga, Shaligrama ityadi. So they are not having any head or tail or hands or legs or face, nothing. Shivalinga or Shaligrama, when you take, there is no top, down, bottom, left, right, back, front, nothing. So only one shape. And there is nothing called head, hands, etc. there also. They are called Nirguna Murtis. The third category is called Saguna Murti. Saguna Murtis are those which are representative of Vishnu, Chaturbhuja Vishnu, Panchamukha Shiva, Ganapati, Durga. These are all considered as Saguna, with qualities, with physical form similar to that of human being, Lakshmi, Devi, or all that. They are called Saguna, with character. Then they call fourth category is called Avatara Murtis. Dhanurdhari Ramaha, Vamsidhari Krishna, Narasimha Avatar. They are called Avatara Murtis. They are not, they are, of course, see, Vishnu himself, say Dakshinamurti, for example, or the Vishnu's avatar or Shiva's avatar, and they have particular reason why they are particular manifestation took place. To glorify that particular manifestation for which they have taken the avatar, that is exemplified, or that is that is particularly glorified in that form. Because if you say Krishna's avatar and you don't put Sita next to him, you see, or he doesn't have bow and arrow, and if you have Rama, then you don't put a flute in his hand. Or gopikas or cows, you don't put that there. Why? Because specific, they have a particular reason why they came, that avatar has happened, and then so it is related to that. This way, there are 4 different kinds of murtis worshipped in our tradition. What is the purpose of all that? All that is to sahakarika sadhanani. They are supporting factors for your saddarshanam. That's what it is saying here. Saddarshana sadhanani. Jiva kalpida vrishabhavahana garudavahanadi murtibhihi Isha kalpida agni vayu adityadi murtibirva sarva adhishtatra chaitanyasya sarveshwarasya upasanam palapradameva. So these are all various kinds of deities that are worshipped in Hindu culture, in the religion, and they also have differences in their giving of the results or phalam. Phalam cha upasaka shraddha anurupam. The phalam or the result, the grace that is received by the people, the upasakas, entirely depends upon the shraddha. And if a person does not have shraddha, faith, on the deity whom he or she worships, then the result will also be accordingly removed or denied. Bhagavan also clearly said in Gita, Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha shraddhaya architam ichchati tasya achalam shraddham tameva vidadami aham. I will give according to the shraddha. Shraddha anurupam upasyamanasya ishwarasya anugraha adinam. They are depending upon the shraddha. The result will be depending upon the deity that is worshipped, and it is accordingly the phalam will be given. Shraddhamayasya upasaka Purushasya Upasya Murti Nirapeksham Murti Abhimanini Devata Phalam Vidatte. So, irrespective of the limitations that are apparently there in the form which is worshipped, the Devata will give the result. The Murti doesn't. This is important also to know. When you are worshipping Krishna, you are actually worshipping Vishnu. If you are worshipping Rama, you are worshipping actually Vishnu. If you are worshipping Dakshinamurti, you are actually worshipping Shiva. Though we can choose whatever form we want to worship, but the result will be given by the Devata. And irrespective of the limitations that are apparently there in the form. That's what it means. Tasmat Brahmatma Sakshatkarasya Nama Sankirtanani Murti Pujanani cha Ubayogini eva. Nama Sankirtanani Pujas ityadi, all those things, Murti Pujanani cha Upayogini eva. Sakshatkarasya Jiva Ishvara Aikya Sakshatkarasya Upayogini. They are helpful in realizing the oneness between Jiva and Ishvara. Why it is mentioned here is, if a person is looking for a result from the Murti that he or she is worshipping, that does not disintegrate, that does not remove the Beda between Jiva and Ishvara, then it doesn't make that individual realize the oneness. That's why Bhagavan said in Gita, Artho, Jignasu or Artharthi. These three categories of people are still living as a Jivas only. Jnani, on the other hand, he said very clearly, Atma eva me matam. कौन है ज्ञानी? जो ज्ञानी जो भक्त है, ज्ञानी भक्त है, वो that person is not limiting himself to strengthen only jivatva. Whereas a person who is artha, one who is a jignasu, one who is artharthi, one who is looking for physical pain to be removed or money to be gained or some knowledge of the world to be gained, such a person is not breaking the shell of jivatva. So it doesn't give him the sakshatkar. It will only give him a preparation. A preparation in the sense of what? I know that what I want can be gained from God than anywhere else. And therefore the mind is uplifted to worship God than anything else. And eventually, when he starts to have self-inquiry following his purity of mind, that's why Bhagavan also says karma yoga, karma phala tyaga, kartrutva tyaga, karma sannyasa, jnana prapti, dhyanam and samadhi. Without that gaining of that crucial step, कर्म संन्यास करके ज्ञान मिलता है, तो ज्ञान है तो उसका मनन निधिध्यासन इत्यादि वेदांत श्रवणम, वेदांत मननम, वेदांत ध्यानम इत्यादि संभवन्ति. If one stops at karma sannyasa but not going to jnanam, that sannyasa does not help him to gain realization. One can traditionally take sannyas, renunciation from the worldly duties, but does not step into jnanam. Then what happens? He may be released from the worldly concerns and duties, but where does the mind go? So here, sadvastuni sarvasam upasyamana murtinam Ashrayabodhe sadbhavakye bhavakye brahmani prapta tadatma bhava prapta labdaha sa eva aham idi bhava yasyam sa. So what is that step that a upasaka should take upon conducting the upasana? What should he be the next step for him? जो मैं पूजा कर रहा हूं, जो मूर्ति, whichever be the form I am worshipping, उसका आश्रय क्या है, इसका विचार करना चाहिए. विष्णु का आश्रय क्या है, शिव का आश्रय क्या है? What is the support, or what is that which manifesting as Vishnu? What is that which is manifesting as Shiva? What is that which is manifesting as Ganesha or Devi? So ashraya vichar. So even sarvasam upasyamana murtinam ashrayabhute sadbhavakye brahmani. On realization of that even those worshipful deities which I am worshipping, their very support, substratum is Brahman. Only when that is realized, prapta tada atma bhava, not only realizing that it is Brahman, that I am. Prapta labdaha sa eva aham iti bhavaha. That very support of the worshipful deity is none other than Brahman, and that Brahman is my nature. Iti bhavaha yasyam sa upasya murtehe ashraya yah saha eva aham pratyaya ashrayasya iti. That very thing which is supporting the Vishnu or Shiva or whatever be the form, that very thing is the one which is supporting my aham. Dadeva aham pratyaya ashraya iti tadatma siddhyasya siddhihi yasyam nishtayam sa eva nishtha nanya. That is what is called nishtha. That is what is called abidance. That's why he says, parasya nama kritibhi spasavaryaha sadvastvani prapta tadatma bhava nishtha. That nishtha eva saddarshanam. That very abidance in that self, which is a support of my own aham, I, the thought of I, is the same support which is supporting the Murti or Vishnu or Shiva or Brahma or whatever. In essence, that which is appearing as the very support of the universe, or the God which is controlling the entire universe, that very thing is the same one here. Only upon the realization of that sa eva aham, then only that is called nishtha, and that nishtha is called saddarshanam. Nishtha eva saddarshanam ityavehi. This he has been saying that from the beginning itself. Nishtha, nishtha, again and again. Abidance, abidance. So therefore, you see, atra shloke sahajatma nishta eva saddarshanamiti upaditam. Anyatra atmanamikshate iti shloke jivasya ishena bhogyavastum bhogyatvam upamadya parama prapatti pradipadana dwara prakarantarena atmadarshanam prapanchitam. In later, verse number 23, he will say that a jiva who is thus completely surrendering to the Lord becomes the food for the Lord. Now, interesting, in Kathopanishad also this point comes. A upasaka, a true deity, true bhakta is one, he becomes the annam for the Lord. See, when we eat food, we have food in the hand and then it's prepared and kept. Now you take a handful of it or a spoonful of it and take it into your mouth when you eat it. The food which is outside as an external object, when you take it in, then that food is no more different from you. The food becomes one with you. Anni bhavati. So annam and so annam, what is annam? Atti idi annam, that which is consumed. So that annam, the food, that is when it is consumed, thereafter there is no individuality of the annam. It becomes one with you. In the same way, a bhakta, when he surrenders to the Lord, becomes a food for the Lord. Thereafter, he doesn't exist as an external entity. So that is why it is said. So this is explained in 23 verse number. Why is he pointing out here is that he says, Tasmad upayata swarupa sakshatkarah pradipaditah drashtavyah ग्रंथ आरंभे मंगलाचर श्लोक द्वय तात्पर्य बोध कैवल्य निष्ठा सायुज्य संपत्तियोः क्रमशः एकस्य सदः ब्रह्मणः निष्कल सकल रूप साक्षात्कार स्वरूपत्वं स्मारितं भवति. Whether it is a prapatti or the surrender in the path of devotion, or nishta in the path of atmavichar, leading to the same point. So one is called nishta, another is called sarupya bhakti. One becomes sarupya, means becomes one with the rupam of the Lord. So one is called kaivalya nishta, another is called sayujya sampatti. And that is explained in the verse number 1 and 2 also. We saw that asat pratyaya kim nivihai sandam hirdesha chinta rahito hirdakyah kadam smarama tamameyamekam tasya smritihi tasya dridaiva nishta. Nishta is explained in the verse number 1. Then in the verse number 2, we saw mrityunjayam mrityubhyashritanam aham madir mrityumupedi purvam adasvabhavad amruteshu teshu kadam punar mrityudiyo vakashah. When a bhakta reaching the abode of the Lord Shiva, who is a Mrityunjaya, conqueror of death, and once he reaches and surrenders to him, first thing that is destroyed by the Lord is aham. Aham matihi mrityumupaiti purvam. First the ahammati, which is destroyed. It is this ahankar which is now surrendered to the Lord, which was the original reason for one to believe that he is subject to death, etc. And when the ahammati is destroyed, then there is no question of that person having any more fear of non-existence, fear of death. So in prapatti, Bhagavan takes care of destroying your ego. In Atmanishta, you yourself inquire and overcome the hold of ahankar by abiding in the self. So in both the ways, so in the second one, it is prapatti, surrender. So that is what is explained here. This leads to surrender. So the leading to surrender, it is a very helpful means, the upasana of the particular form of God. So that is why it is sahakarika sadhanani saddarshanasya. The worship etc. are very, very helpful means, but obviously having done all the worship and mind purified, you must inquire into the oneness of the self that is appearing as the Vishnu or Shiva or Brahma etc. and the same one which is a support of one's own notion of I. When that is known, then it results in oneness. Alright, now having said this, Ataha jignasoho vicharashilasya anveshanarupam sadhanam upadishadi dvandvani. Now the self-inquiry is further explained here. How to do the self-inquiry? See, self-inquiry is not one which you do after sitting down in Dhyanam. No, self-inquiry should go on continuously in your mind. Dhyanam is only concretization of those, affirmation of that. So what is the self-inquiry? How to do the vichara, Atma vichara? That is explained in the verse number 11. We read here, verse number 11. Dvandvani sarvani akilastripudyah kinchit samashritya vibhanti vastu tanmargane syad galitam samastam na pashyatam sachalanam katapi द्वन्द्वानि सर्वानखिलास्त्रिपुट्यः किञ्चित् समाश्रित्य विभान्ति वस्तु तन्मार्गणे स्यात् गलितं समस्तं न पश्यतां सच्चलनं कदापि. In this world we cannot avoid the dualities, and that has been explained many places: joy, sorrow, success, failure, etc. These dvandva, dualities, first let us take it into our enquiry. The duality as well as triputis. Triputi means three factors. When I am talking or when I am thinking, let's take the example of thinking. I'm thinking, I am a thinker, I'm thinking about something. Seeing, I'm the seer, I'm seeing an object. So in all transactions in this world, there are three. The person who is doing the action, and the object of the action. Right? So when I'm seeing, I'm the seer, and then there is an object that is seen, and the seeing takes place. So whether you take the world which is in the form of opposites, pairs of opposites, joy, sorrow, birth, death, and then success, failure, gain and loss, day and night, good and bad, right and wrong, sin and merit. All these dvandvas as well as transactional three factors, triputi. Dvandvani sarvani akila triputyah. All these pairs of opposites as well as the triads, Bibhanti, they all are appearing to be kinchit vastu samashritya, holding on to some entity alone, or based upon some entity alone, they are able to maintain their position. How do you say that? Okay. Can you recall good things that happened in your life and bad things happened in your life? Yeah. Yes, Swamiji, I can remember. Okay. So when good things happened in your life, you are aware. Bad things happened in your life that you are aware. So when you are experiencing good or bad, are you good or bad? When you are seeing day and when you are experiencing night, are you day or night? You are neither day nor the night. So there is something whose presence alone day and night are experienced. Similarly, seer, seen, and see, the object that is seen. These three are for the same person only. Are you the seer or the seen? If I am the seer and the object is seen, all right, the object is seen from outside, all right, but it is happening as a thought in my mind. So the seen object is also in my mind, and the one who is seeing the object is also me only. You may not agree it immediately because I always think the object is somewhere outside. Even though the object is seen outside, a physical object is there outside, but the seeing takes place only inside. Think. If the object is there in which I don't see, even if it is there, sometimes my mind is occupied with something else and you are standing right in front of me. Sometimes it happens, right? You are so seriously thinking about something and somebody whom you know who's right in front of you, but you don't see it. So object is not absent, it is present. You are not absent, you are present. Then, why are you not seeing? Eyes are open. So, when you see, where do you see? That's why you tell your teenage children also. Are you hearing or listening to me? Because hearing means what? I am saying. It comes to your ear and it is not heard by you. It just moves. I am telling you 10th time. Oh, yes. Now I listen to you. Where are you? Even as the sound is there, you are present, ears are open, listening is not happening. Why? Because it is not happening in you. Outside it is there. In you it is not happening. So many different sounds are there when you are traveling, when you are in a mall or in your... But listening happens within you only. So you are the listener. You are the object that is listened. And between those two, listening is taking place. So who is that which is common in the three? Common means that is a support in the three. Who is the one who knows both the day and night, joy and sorrow, success and failure, gain and loss, good and bad? Who is that? What is that? Kinchit samashritya. Something, kinchit vastu. Something is there based upon which only vibhanti. Triputyaha vibhanti. Dvandvani sarvani vibhanti. Tadmarkane. When you start going towards that, what is that? Syat, tadmargane syat. When you do the vichara towards that, akilam samastam, completely all of them are merged into that. All of them then thereafter getting merged into that. Sargalam samastam galitam. They merged. Galita means merged into that. Dropped. That is what is called. Those who are able to do this, satpashyatam na samastam pashyatam, to those people who are seeing there, na kadapi chanchalanam. To such people, there is no movement at all. The mind doesn't waver. Attention doesn't waver. Sthita prajnaha iti artha. Such a person alone is called sthita prajna, steady wisdom. What is steady here? Many people say, no, Swamiji, we are having, for the past 10 years, we are having study group. I say, is it a study group or a steady group? If the same set of people reading and continuing their studies, their sadhana of study, then it's steady. You may have 10 years of study group, but every year the whole group changes, except the study group sevak is there, but everybody changes. Then it is not steady group. So, Atma, Anatma, Jada, Chetana, Drik, Drishya, Vishayi, Vishayadin, Itara Ashrayani. These dualities, all the dualities, whether it is Atma, Anatma, self, not self, Jada, Chetana, inert, sentient, Drik, Drishya, seen and then seer, Vishayi, Vishaya, the one who is object and the subject. Adina, itara ashrayani. They are all interdependent. First of all, you appreciate cold only when there is heat outside. You appreciate heat when there is cold outside. You know, when it is cold outside, you want to put the heater in your room to 67, 68, 70, 72 Fahrenheit. When it is hot outside, then would you like to what? You want it to be cold inside. So they are interdependent. Itara ashrayani. Itara ashrayani. Tada akilaha triputyaha. And also all the three factors. What are Jnatru, Jnana, Jnayadyascha. The knower, knowing, and the knowable. Kinchid vastu kim api ashrayabhutam मूलस्वरूपम समाश्रित्य आश्रयत्वेन आलभ्य विभान्ति प्रतिभान्ति इत्यर्थः. They all are depending upon something else as the support. Tanmargane, meaning tasya ashrayabhutasya vastunah margane anveshane krite. When the enquiry, this is called, it's called self-enquiry. When you start the enquiry into that on which all of them are supported, what is that supporting them? In that way, when you do the anveshanam, anveshane krite, samastam dvandva triputyatmakam sakalam galitam syat. See this. On the other day also I was talking about that. In Bhagavad Gita or in Vedanta in general, they say qualification of a student is titiksha. Titiksha means what? Where a person is able to bear the dualities, whether joy, sorrow, heat, cold. So it is there and the body has to go through this. If the body is there, then there is birth and death, sickness and health. And when I am in the heat in the summer, then heat is there. When I am cold, it's cold outside in the winter. These are all to be borne, to be taken into the stride. Let us move on. Let us not sit and worry about that too much. So this way, ability to bear the dualities. This is the qualification of a student. Otherwise, his mind will be distracted by that. Then Bhagavan Krishna says that after that, the next step is uska balance, maintaining balance in the experience of the duality. What is that? Samatvam yoga uchyate. Uska samabhav se, with the attitude of sameness, you must deal with that. Don't get agitated by that. Earlier it was forbearance, to bear. But next one is balance. Okay, it is there. So understanding that if one is there, the other has to be there. This is balancing. Sukha dukkhe same kritva labha labho jaya jaya. Okay, right. Then the next step is, are they real? Is there real joy and sorrow? Is there real good and bad? Is there real right and wrong? That inquiry comes only when you realize in both those there is one factor. That's what here it is. Then Anveshana is what? To find out what is that which is unaffected by these two, that which is the self, which is present in both. Which is present in both but not disturbed by both. Earlier it is forbearance, tolerance. Then second one is balance. Third one is relevance. Is it there really? It is only at the level of the mind. Self does not have oscillation with respect to joy and sorrow, etc. It is same. So it's not tolerance. It's not balance. It is inquiring into their reality. So therefore here, tanmargane, when you go into that very inquiry into that, samastam galitam, they disappear. If I get angry about somebody's behavior, instead of getting angry about that, I ask the question, to whom is this anger? Me, the awareness is not affected by this. It is a mind or the ego or the individuality here is insisting upon a particular behavior of that person, he is getting affected. If I say something and you deny it or you just reject it, ignore it, I get very upset. How dare I gave you opinion and you don't even acknowledge it, you don't even hear it, you don't even say, yes, good, thanks for your opinion, nothing. Who is getting affected here? The one who wants to be acknowledged, the one who wants to be admired, accepted, praised. Who is that? Who is that? The ego. How dare you don't listen to me? How dare you reject me? Who is this? How is asking this question? Identified with that ego, identified with that ahankara, we get agitated. But awareness is that which is not going through any such things. It's unaffected by admiration or insult. Janakripa naishturyam utsrujyata, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says. Kripa naishturyam, whether it is sympathy or criticism, उसमें मन मत डालो. Don't get too affected by that. Swamiji, it will be like a stone-like existence. It's not that. It's not that you are not aware of that. You are aware of that. Stone is not aware of that. But you are aware of that. In spite of being aware of that, but you are not agitated about it. That is the prajnatvam. That is the steadiness. That's why chalanam na pashyatam katapi. So a person in whom that thing as galitam, Shad adarshanam gachet. Adarshanam gachet. They don't anymore have a reality of their own. Ityartaha. Satpashyatam. To whom is this possible? Sakala dvandva triputinam ashraya bodha vastunaha अन्वेषणेन द्वन्द्वेषु त्रिपुटिषु च विगलितासु यद् अगलितं परिशिष्टं भवति तत् सत्यम् अन्वीक्षमाणानां न कदापि चलनं चलत्वं नास्ति अचला निष्ठा भवति इत्यर्थः. अचला निष्ठा, unwavering abidance. In whom? To this person who has done the Anveshanam, Atma Anveshanam, Atma Vicharaha, self-enquiry, one who has done and understood that it is a support, that there is awareness, is unaffected by what is projected upon that. Just like the rope is unaffected by the snake that is projected on it, the post is unaffected by the ghost that is projected on it, the screen that in which the projection of movies that is projected on it, in which Galitam it has merged, it become disappeared, it has disappeared into him. Such a one na kadapi chalanam. For him, to him, there is no chalanam at all. No waverings, no agitation. Chalanam nati, achalanishta bhavati. Satyam anvikshamanasya satya akara vritti rupatvam bhavati. Akara rupatvam bhavati. To him it is very clear, the awareness becomes an evident. Anyatra cha uktam cha maharshina, Sri Maharshina. In another place, in another composition called Ramana Gita, 4th chapter, 8th verse, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi has made a beautiful statement. Swatma bhutam yadi brahma gyatum vrittihi pravartate swatma kara tata bhutva napratak pratitishthati. Swatma bodham yadi brahma gyatum vrittihi pravartate. When the sadhaka, the mumukshu, is inquiring about the Brahman with a thought. Swatma bhutam yadi brahma jnatum vrittihi pravartate. When a vritti, a thought about knowing Brahman starts and inquiring into it, what happens? Swatma akara tadha bhutva. That very thought takes the form of Brahman. Na pratak pratitishthati. It doesn't remain any more independent. The vritti, the thought of inquiry, merges into the Brahman and it doesn't stay independently trying to know it. As Ramakrishna Paramahamsa would say, the salt doll trying to understand the depth of the ocean, salt doll trying to get into the water to know the depth of the ocean, does it stay again further into that? Can it independently exist further? एवं सर्वेषां द्वन्द्वानां सकलानां त्रिपुटीनां आश्रय सापेक्षत्व उपपादनद्वारा मूलाश्रय अन्वेषणेन अचलत्व प्राप्तिरुक्ता. अन्वेषणेन अचल प्राप्तिः. By this enquiry, what is obtained is achala prapti, steadiness. That's what in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, Yasmin sthito na dukkena guruna pina vichalyate. In Gita chapter 6. Yasmin, in which sthitaha, staying, na, not at all, dukkena gurunapi, when the heaviest sorrow also, na vichalyate, doesn't move. He doesn't waver like yata, nivadasta deepavat. Just like in a windless pot, a lamp is placed, the flame does not waver at all. That is the mind of a yogi who has gained the sakshatkara saddarshanam, and this is how self-enquiry had to be done. Enquiry into the reality of the so-called dualities, so-called the triads, seer, seen, and the seeing, or knower, knowing, and knowable. Also, all the various dualities that constitute this world, when you understand the ashraya, the support, as one which is unaffected by these two, on whose platform or whose presence only these take place, joy, sorrow, etc., are taking place in the awareness only. The awareness is unaffected by the kind of experience that the mind goes through. And such an individual abiding in that awareness is unwavering. That's the idea given in this. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkhabhat Bhavet. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Any questions anybody has?
I have a question.